Chadley's Battle Report 18, called MP Consumption, is the most time-consuming and irritating battle report to actually do. It's not difficult, but it is definitely time-consuming. In order to complete it, you're going to need to max out every single magic materia. Those are the green materials that we get throughout the game. Healing, cleansing, revival, fire, ice, lightning, wind, poison, barrier, binding, subversion, and lastly, time. And you need to complete Battle Report 18 before you gain access to Battle Report 19, where you can fight a very specific dragon summon, if you catch my drift. But the reward for completing the MP Consumption Battle Report is an MP Absorb materia, which is extremely valuable. It's one of the best materials, if not the best materia in the game, and it makes hard mode a hell of a lot more manageable. And in a different video that I'll leave in the video description, I go over materia combinations that use things like HP absorption and MP absorption in order to really exploit how powerful these materials are. So you can check that out if you'd like. For now, let's just focus on actually completing Battle Report 18 to get the MP absorption, as well as, again, being able to fight Bahamut. Now, although this is time consuming, you can greatly decrease the amount of time by doing this during hard mode. When you play in hard mode, you'll be able to have that AP boost of the multiplier by 3. It makes things way, way faster. And if you're not in hard mode at all, which I'm not doing it in hard mode in this video, you can still do this. It's just going to take a little bit more time. All that said, let's get into the preparation phase here. Now, I want to clarify, you don't need these materials, but it's going to make things a hell of a lot easier. You'll be primarily using 2 characters, one being your main magic dealer, the other being your secondary. I have Cloud as my main magic dealer, as he has a higher magic attack than Tifa and Barret is my secondary magic user. The first strike materia is essential and integral to this strategy. It's gonna be able to allow you to use ATB right at the beginning of the battle. First and foremost, you're gonna want a maxed out fire materia, and you're gonna also want to link that with a magnify materia. Casting Firaga is going to be the heart of this strategy. I also equip an ice materia, not always maxed out, just at least at Blizzara level, on both my primary magic caster as well as my secondary. Now, this is a little bit optional, but I highly suggest it. You're going to want to link an AP up with your revival materia. If you're not sure how to get the AP up, please, by all means, check out the video description. There's a link there that shows how to get the AP up materia. And the reason that we're connecting it with the revival materia is that revival takes forever to level up. It needs 5,000 AP. And the AP up is going to double the amount of AP that you receive for that specific materia. It's going to cut down your time in doing this significantly. Now, there are a few secondary optional materials that you can add on to make things a little bit easier. One of which I like to use is ATB Stagger. Now here I have a level 3 ATB Stagger where it gives a large ATB boost. If you've only got a level 1, it's fine. It's definitely going to help you. Your primary magic caster should be the one equipping the ATB Stagger, because when you cast Firaga, you're going to be staggering enemies. And when this happens, when the stagger occurs, you'll actually get ATB from it, priming you up for the next cast. On your secondary caster, I like to have a lightning materia as well. You're going to be using Thundera or Thundaga if you have it. It just helps out. It's not required, but it helps out a lot. And finally, on your secondary caster, throw some magic ups if you have it. It just boosts the strength and damage that you're going to be dealing out. Now that you have the main setup going on, with all the other slots in your weapons, you just want to put in the magic materia that you want to go ahead and master. It doesn't need to be magic materia. Any materia that you want to start leveling up, you just throw them in the slots here. For instance, here's a clip of me before I started leveling up my materia, and I'm just literally just putting in any materia that I have that I want to level up that isn't already maxed out, and just putting them in my gear. Once you're all ready, you're going to talk to the Coliseum guy and go to the 3-person team versus Shinra Warriors. This allows all of your party members in the battle, which is the best way to promote the most growth from all materia. And from here on, you're going to have a very simple strategy. You're going to open up with your main magic caster, as you'll see here what I've done with Cloud, and cast Firaga right at the very beginning of the battle. This is going to be your bread and butter. You're going to be doing this over and over and over again, as the enemies here are weak to fire. Because you have First Strike equipped, as well as fire coupled with the Magnify, the Firaga should be hitting a pretty massive distance. It should be hitting, if not all of the enemies, at least 2 of them. After you've done that, you just go ahead and clean up. You can go ahead and cast Firaga again, specifically if you've staggered, because we also have the ATB stagger, which gives you ATB if there's a stagger. You'll see in this battle though, I did screw up. Something happened that was a little bit off, but at that same token, you just go ahead and just take them out normally. No big deal. And this strategy is going to run you through the first, second, and third rounds pretty easily. You should be taking out these enemies in nearly just 1 Firaga. If the Firaga hasn't taken everybody out, just use your other characters. You can use your secondary caster to cast another spell if you'd like to. This specific demonstration that I'm showing off is actually a really poor representation. This is, what I'm noticing, pretty long in comparison to my typical runs through. On the 4th battle here, I use my main caster. You'll see Cloud cast Firaga, and I'll switch to my secondary caster, who also has a First Strike. You can buy 2. I use Thundaga on the sentry gun over there to the right, and then I take my other character and take out the laser cannon. By the time I'm done taking out this laser cannon, pretty much everyone's already been dead as is. It's the 5th battle that's the most time-consuming, not exactly the most troublesome. Again, all of these battles are fairly easy, but it is a little bit more time-consuming. These enemies are weak to ice rather than fire, which is exactly why I have equipped on both my primary and secondary caster ice. Be able to use Blizzaga, Blizzara consistently to just tack on the damage as best as I can. It may take a little bit to defeat them, and it may take a little bit for you to kind of catch your bearings and find the rhythm to how to cast spells quickly enough, but sure enough, you'll get it after the 3rd, maybe 4th run through. Every time that you've actually run through and completed this battle, you'll obtain 55 AP. Coupled with the AP up and the revival, we'll be receiving 110. Obviously, it doubles. And as math has shown here, that if you've done this 46 times, on normal mode, I should say, you'll gain more than enough experience to have maxed out revival. On the other hand, if you're doing this in hard mode, all you would need to do is 16 rounds of this, and you'll go ahead and max out revival. That's also taking into consideration that you've never used revival before, so keep that in mind. And just to give you guys a general idea of how long this takes, I had a wind materia here that I've had no experience with at all. And I essentially put a timer just by playing these Coliseum battles 20 minutes through with this exact strategy. And after 20 minutes, here was my result. I was able to gain 275 AP. That's basically 5 runs through. And in hard mode, that would have been 1375 AP. So in just a little bit over an hour, if you've never done any grinding for revival at all, you could absolutely have revival maxed out. Takes obviously 3 times as much time for normal mode, but at the end of the day, it's still done. And now that Battle Report 18 is done, good luck with Battle Report 19. I'll have to go ahead and make a video on that and give a good strategy on Bahamut as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this and found it somewhat useful, and if you did, by all means, please go ahead, drop a like, give me a comment, tell me what guides you guys want to see. I'd really appreciate it.